earlier session, the print statement will be executing and it will print exactly like received input is colon, and this str information is the information that we got from the user using this raw input. For example, if for example I have given the example code, like here I have given enter the input is printed from the statement raw underscore input, enter your input is being printed directly, and after that a python program, hello python is the input received from the user, right? User or the person who is executing the python code, and the received input is printed from these particular print statement. After that, the str is the value which is being got from the user, and that has been stored in the str, that will be printed here. Okay, this is how we print, we got input from the user, and we print that statement in our python programming. Okay, so how will you save your python program? What extension you will you give for your python program? Whenever you write a python program, it has to be stored in a .py sub extension, right? For a movie and all, we will be using mp4 and that kind of extensions, right? For that kind of operations, but here we will be using .py. .py is extension of python like, okay, for example, here I have given text code, text, right? Text example python, that is a text document, txt document. It will be the extension of these example python is example python dot txt. Okay, if for python for python file, you will be storing as example python dot py only. Until you store it as dot p in a particular dot py extension, it will have some executional issues, right? Whenever you write a program, you store it, python program, you store it in .py extension. Okay, and okay, and I would like to give an assignment for this raw underscore input project, where I have explained the syntax of python, right? Now you please, after completing the session or in the evening, you try to identify the difference between this raw input in python and what syntax is being used in c and c++ programming language. Okay, here we are using a raw input. I can give here, but in C we will be using scanf statement. For integer or float, we'll be using scanf statement. You please, after completing the session in the evening, you please take assignment and do what is the difference between the different syntax being used in C, C++, and Python for getting the input from the user. Okay, and after that, okay, and after that, and another important input we can get from the user, another important syntax we can use for the to get the information from the input from the user is like, this is str is, as I said earlier, str is a variable, input is a term. In the last slide we have used raw dot input, raw underscore input, right? But here we have directly given the input. This is also an acceptable syntax which can be used in python programming language. Here we are using, yeah, great, someone has given the answer for c++. And okay, let me read your chat after completing session, because I'm running out of session. Only 15 minutes is more. So I couldn't read your chat boxes. And for example, in for getting the input, we will be using uh, we are using, so we have two syntax to get the input. One is raw underscore input, and second one is input. What is the difference between raw underscore input and input? This is also a small assignment. You can work, you can identify what is the difference between raw underscore input and input in python programming language. Okay, uh, uh, that you can get, you can study from your own. It doesn't have any major differences. Raw underscore python can get any operations like string, integer, float, any kind of input they can get. But whereas in input, we will be using only python acceptable inputs. For example, that kind of the basic difference between the raw input, raw underscore input, and input syntax. Okay, and after that, okay, Now we have to open a file. For example, if you are executing a program, if you are running a calculator program, we have a scientific calculator, right? You can write a scientific calculator program in Python. Okay, right? So you have to give a result to some other page, some other file. As I said earlier, example Python is a text file. You have to store your output or final result of your Python programming in that example python.txt file. So at that time, you need to open that file, right? You will be executing your Python programming from your desktop, from your C colon desktop, some Python programming folder, right? But you are executing that program, your scientific calculator has been executed, and you are doing some calculations like 150 plus 150, but that result has to be that result has to be stored in a file which is being located somewhere in the D colon or E colon. So so that you have to open that file. As I said earlier, we have a smartwatch, right? Smartwatch will be detecting all this, will be doing all these calculations, healthcare calculations, and that data will be transferred to a cloud file or a file which is being connected to the internet, and we will be storing that information. To store that information, we have to open that file, right? Without opening that file, we cannot store that information. For that kind of operation, we are using open operation. Here we are giving a statement open to open a file foo.txt with the permission of wb. Wb is like you can do perform any binary operation. Wb represent binary operations in your text file. With these WB permission, you can open any kind of any text file. I have given the link. For example, I am executing my Python programming in Python programming. For example, main.py main.py file is being executed in C folder, C colon, and suddenly I am executing. I have to my program, my scientific calculator has to put the results, give the output results to the another file called foo.txt, right? To open that file, we will be using this open statement. Okay, that is the uh, main operation of this open statement. For moreover, uh, without opening any file, you cannot print any statement. You cannot store any values in the that particular file. Okay, and one more thing is like here I have given five or four syntax, right? Print name of the file. What it will print? It will directly print give the value of name of the file. And what is fo? Fo is a variable which consists of this particular operation, right? For example, if I am giving this statement fo dot name, then it will directly give the name of the text file. For example, if I'm executing this particular line in the program, in the Python program, it will give print name of the file. Name of the file will be executed and it will be printed in the output screen. And while executing fo.name, fo is a variable which consists of fo.txt, which consists of fo.txt. That fo.txt will be the name of the txt file, that is foo will be printed. For example, I have given, you can see in the output results, right? Name of the file, that is foo.txt, right? This will be printed here. This is a normal print statement. This is fo is the fo is a variable which consists of these operation. So foo.txt will be printed. The name of the file will be printed. Okay. Secondly, I have given a function. This dot name is a function, is a pre-programmed function which is being used in the Python. Likewise, closed mode, soft space, these are the pre-programmed Python functions we execute. By calling this functions, the name of the text file will be printed. Likewise, for in the second statement, we are checking the closed or not, right? This will be directly printed, and fo.closed is the closed is a function pre-programmed function in the function in the Python. The fo is the integer variable that will be tell that will give a result like whether the opened file is closed or not. For example, if you are executing a program, one scientific calculator, and you are opening a file foo.txt, and at the same time you are executing another file. For example, you are running some file, some Python, other some other Python file, and that Python file is also accessing this foo.txt, then it will definitely give a uh, that will create a problem, right? When two programs are implemented and two programs are executed at the same time and store the results in the particular foo.txt, then it will have a problem, right? So to identify that, we will be using closed function. And opening function is like fo.mode. Here, whether to this is mode function is used to identify the status, the uh, permission of the file. For example, WB is a permission which allows the user to run only binary operations, right? So to identify that permission status, we are using mode. And soft flag is like whether it is been soft space flag is used to identify whether the file is being feel accessed but by a particular user or a different user at the same time simultaneously. When two people are accessing this particular foo.txt file, soft flag is soft space will raise a flag to reduce the mutual exclusion problems, right? For that we are using soft space functions. Okay. And after that, to read a file, for example, if you are having you are planning to monitor your healthcare status for which healthcare status, then your inputs will be gathered from the smartphone or smartwatches that will be transferred in the system, and you can download that a number of steps you have walked or your heartbeat or something, some kind of things. And you would like to do some process to, you like to analyze your healthcare monitoring file, then that file has to be has to be read by the Python program, right? So for example, if I'm having a healthcare data in this file, then it has to be first it has to be open. For example, Python, I have to open example python.txt, which consists of my healthcare data. Then it has to be to execute to process that data. First of all, I have to open that. For opening, we have used open function. And for opening, we have used after opening the text file, we have to read the information from that text file, right? So that we are using this read operation. We will be using fo.read. Here, whenever we give this fo is a variable, we have given permission into fo to open the file foo.txt. Then we have executed. After that, we are creating another variable. We are creating another variable. 1 minute. We are creating here fo is a variable, string is another variable. Fo consists of we gives a permission to open the file foo.txt, and that file will be opened. After that, str is another variable which gives permission fo to read information. What is this 10? Can anyone tell me what is this 10? Read dot 10. That read dot 10 is fo dot read dot 10 is like read string is how many times this is executed. That will be that 10 is like how many times the file has to be read. That is the operation we have given in this thing, right? So this is how we will be reading the file in the syntax programming. And I would like to give another assignment, and where you have to check what kind of read syntax is being used in C and C++. Because you have whenever you learn a language, you have to compare it with existing programming language. If you are learning C, then you have to compare it with COBOL, which has been used in 1970s or 1980s. If you are using C++, you have to compare it with C as well as with Java. But now we are using high-level programming language. To get a clear idea about the evaluation of Python programming language, you compare that Python syntax with the existing C, C++, Java. That will give a good idea about the Python syntax. Okay, how how the language is being, how the programming language is being got evaluation, and they execute how it is being processed over the years. So okay, that is very important. And this how we open, okay, right? So okay, we have opened a file, we have read the file. Now we would like to write on the file, right? Write on the file in the sense, as I said earlier, so the smart watches will send the data to the cloud, right? That file has to be stored, and for every write, system has to write the information to the in a particular file. I would like to write a file, for example, this second file is being stored in some I would like to write on this foo.txt. I'm executing my Python programming in C colon, and foo.txt is stored in the D colon, and I would like to execute the Python programming language, and from that I would like to print this particular statement. This particular Python is a great language. Yeah, it's a great language in the file, text file, which is being stored in the D colon, right? D colon with the file permission of WB. WB in the sense only binary write. I can only write binary operations on the binary values in the binary operation. I can only perform binary operations in the particular file. Okay. This is how we execute we write a particular file. Okay. This is a small example of how to write a particular file. For example, here the result will be the foo.txt will have a final output of Python is a great language. Yeah, it's a great language. We have given it. This slash n will give a space. Will enter while we are using Word document, we will give enter, right, to go to the next line. That will be done using the slash n. Okay. And fo.close, can anyone this fo.close will close the file. We have opened the file fo.txt using open file. We used to read the file using read statement, and we will be writing the statement using, we'll print the statement using write. And after completing all this process, we have to close the file. Only if the program is only if the file is being closed, so that the next Python program can access the particular file. So that is very important. We have to close the file after completing all this process. Okay. And write a file. Here I have also given another example. Yeah, how the file is being executed, right? The same example, w.be executed, and how the result will look like. Okay. And for to close a file, as I said earlier, the same like fo.close will be used to close a file. So far we have learned about what is RAM, what is CPU, what is the basic of concept of hard disk, HDD and SDD, right? These are the three major components we need to run a Python programming language or any programming language. And first, after that, in Python syntax, we started looking after the how to print a file, how to print a statement in Python programming language. Once after learning about, we categorize into raw underscore input and normal input input function, input syntax. After that, we learned about how to open a file, how to read a file, how to close a file, how to write a file. These are the four major operations we should learn. Very basic operations we should learn before writing a programming code, right? So here for printing the name, we are using fo. Before closing the file, I am executing a line, right? Name of the file is the fo.name, right? fo.name a name is a pre-languaged Python function that will be executed, and it will print an output like name of the file for foo.txt. Okay. And okay, another important thing is rename. Like for example, by rename is a code which is being used to rename here the test1. Here the test1.txt is a text file which is being stored in some drive, some place in the hard disk, right? I would like to change the test1.txt name to text.txt. So at that time we will be using rename function, right? Rename syntax. So we are using this kind of rename syntax to rename the particular file. Okay, this is the particular syntax of the exact syntax of how to rename a file. Okay, and I have given a small comparison between what is C, C++, and Python. Okay, C, C++, and Python is like printf. In C, we will be using printf statement to print particular particular string, and in Python we are using print. We have eliminated f from print. In C++, we will be using C out. Okay, C out, and this particular thing. Okay, and to read the input from the keyboard, we are using scanf. Scanf, the percentage D is used to get the input as a integer format. Here we are using C in C++ we are using C in, and in Python programming language we will be getting that input. Input is the statement we are using to get the value. Okay, these are the basic difference between the C, C++, and Python. C is a low level language, C++ is a mid level language, and Python is a high level language. Okay, and open file, to open a file, we will be using this complex. We will be using this pointer, and once pointer is very good thing in C. We will be using this pointer statement to open a file in C. But here we can directly open the file using the open statement, right? And in C++, we will be using this statement, output file dot open. This statement will be used in the C++. And in read file, to read a file, we will be once again using pointers in C, if stream my read file in C++, and here we will be open and printf and read line. This is also, read line is a programmed function, or else you can directly use read dot this particular f variable. Okay, these are the basic difference between the C, C++, and Python. So I would like to give a question. I would like you to give an assignment to you all, like compare a file IO syntax of C, C++, Python for the following. To write a file, I have only given for I have only compare. You have to create a tabular column where I have given the input for print, read, open, and read from input, open file, and read file. Here you have to give a syntax, a tabular column where it has to give a syntax for write in C, write a file in C, C++, and Python, close a file, and rename a file. Okay, I have discussed only for Python, but you have to give results for okay. Yeah, yeah, sorry, sorry for the disturbance. Okay, here this is the assignment where you have to write a syntax for write a file, close a file, and rename a file in C, C++, and Python. Okay, and this is your first assignment. You can please note it down, and I will be handling the session in upcoming days. At that time, if possible, I will check your assignments. Okay, and second thing is like second assignment is like create a file named example.txt in your particular PC location, in this PC location. Okay, and print the odd numbers. And one more thing I would like to say is like learning a Python programming, definitely you have to sit down and you have to Google the syntax and you have to work on it, so that only you can learn the basic syntax of the Python. So I have give a task to print odd numbers. Odd numbers in 1 to 135, that odd numbers, right? You have to print till 100, and you have to store it in user PC desktop Python and print odd numbers. Okay, in this particular location you have to print you have to create a file called example.txt, and in that example.txt you have to print the odd numbers in the sense 135 up to 99. Okay, You have to print. This is your second assignment. So if you have, if you are, if you are from core background like CSE, IT, or CBCS and CT department, you can refer this particular link. Can I share it in your chat box? You can refer this particular link, or you can learn from the Edureka Python language, Edureka Python class. You can, it will give a good thing, and I will share the link later. Okay, this book, this page will give all the books about Python programming languages, so you can definitely think it. You can work on it. Okay, and if you have any query, then you can put it in your chat box now. I have another 5 more minutes, and you can put it on it. Okay, you have any queries? Yeah, I will share the slides to you. Definitely, I will give to the corresponding people, and I will share the slide to you. Any questions? Yeah, you have to do, you have to complete your assignments, so that I will be conducting your upcoming sessions. I have another 2 more sessions, I think, so that I will be looking your assignments at that time. And if you are from CSIT background, CSIT or CBCS CT department, and you have to definitely do it. And because you will be having your Python programming classes after your semester starts. Okay, so you please concentrate on it. It will be helpful for your future classes. Okay, you have any queries? Any queries? I have another 3 or 4 more minutes. Yeah, I will share the book reference as well as the YouTube link and the PPT to the concern. I think it's easier to understand if you actually do the environment like pitch on. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, definitely we will look after it. In upcoming session, we'll be talking about that and all. Okay. Yeah, I know that some of you from biology department, and it will be very hard for you to learn programming language. But if you sit and work on it, you can definitely get the topics. Okay, you can you can learn easily if you sit and work on it. I don't know about C and C++. Okay, you can easily learn, and don't worry. And you will have, you are first year students, right? You will be having a computer programming subject in your first semester, so you can learn in deep. Okay. Okay, thank you all. I think we are running out of time, and okay, thank you all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.